And Tsai Ming is looking for a chance to slip away. The girl who came to the girl. But he leaned into Tsai Ming's side. Isn't it interesting? How ugly it is for me to pull you over like that. Tsai Ming stammered nervously. No, I didn't sing well. And you have to learn. And such a shy boy. But it made the girl's interest more and more intense. Saw Tsai Ming's face that had been stiff. The girl looked at Tsai Ming seriously. When you can laugh, you should smile more. And this sentence just woke up Jae Ming. That's right, since Mr. Hanjin left. He didn't seem to have laughed in a long time. And looking at those happy friends, Tsai Ming smiled from the bottom of his heart. Thank you. This laugh completely conquered the girl's psychological defense. With a red face, he handed the phone to Tsai Ming. You can ask for contact information. But the boy who was combing through the contact information, his face suddenly became solemn. But I don't have a detailed look at it. The mobile phone was snatched away by the girl. In a lively atmosphere, soon the time came for night. A few people are proposing to take a big head post. The girl said that she was in a hurry to take a step ahead, and the so-called urgency of the girl. I actually went to see a bald man with an obscene appearance. Uncle, let's go and experience the new world with my uncle. Your dad sold you to me. Yes. The reason why he mustered up the courage to take the victims away. It's because of times like this for him. Maybe I won't have a chance in this life. In the bald, lewd laughter, the girl walked slowly towards him. Okay, get out. I can't die anyway, no. I still don't want to go. There was a slump. It seems to be in response to the girl's heart. The bald hands were pinched. It's no one else. It was Ian Ziming. Sorry, I didn't mean to peek. That's right, just now. When Tsai Ming entered the girl's contact information, a threatening text message was accidentally seen by Tsai Ming. So he followed. It's you, the one who texted him. I saw it after the Ming Dynasty. The girl's expression immediately became worried. This guy is really too. Even if you want to please me. That's too reluctant, isn't it? I'll go with you. He had nothing to do with it. But the girl's words were obviously too late. The bald head raised his slap and came towards Deming. And Deming was just clutching his bald arm. Shake it gently. The right leg is quickly raised. A handsome combo. The nosebleed that hit the bald head was wild. I fainted on the spot, although I should not be involved in your business. But he said that if he dared to escape, he would die. I can't leave it alone. This scene made the girl stay in linen all over. That's too flirtatious, isn't it? Grabbed Jae Ming's hand and sprinted away. Let's run, then. What a mad father in the end. Will sell his daughter to the obscene Uncle Tsai Ming with his own hands. After successfully saving the girl told Tsai Ming about the past. It turned out that the girl used to be very good at studying. It is a stark contrast to Tsai Ming. You don't have to work hard to get in. 20 years old. But he's all given up now. What's the point of studying well? His father graduated from a prestigious university. It has become the elite of large enterprises. He's a very smart guy. But the problem is that he's too smart. A father who is unwilling to be a slave to the company. I quit my job for my ambitions. In the end, the family was in debt. Everything that could be sold was sold. That's when it began. The mother, who can't accept this huge contrast, began to be extra sensitive to his academic performance. It's already mad, and he can only be forced by his mother. Bite the bullet and learn. But it's because of this pressure. Let his academic performance plummet. After that, his mother became more and more terrifying, and even began to persecute him with his life. So he fled from his house, found his father, who was in debt. His father was in debt, but it's still very good for him. But his dad disappeared a week ago. Those who were in debt came to the door and asked him to pay off his father's debts. At this time, the girl finally realized that she had said too much. Prepare to leave. My name is Jang Min-hee. Thank you today. Various aspects. And the girl did not leave as she wished. The name change made a bold move. That is to bring Zhang Min Straw back home. Zhang Minky thought that Tsai Ming was going to plot against him. but he saw his uncle at the door. With an answer, the toothbrush fell to the ground. Uncle is stupid. I heard you right. Did you just say that if your uncle doesn't want to die? Just get the hell out of here. Tsai Ming was speechless. After entering the house, Uncle mysteriously pulled Tsai Ming aside. Do you know that your mother is also my sister? If we knew about it, we would be dead. But for the rest of my nephew's life, my uncle was willing to risk his life for this. And Zhang Minshi on the side secretly smiled. It turns out that my uncle is here. For this reason, my uncle also deliberately spent money. I ordered fried chicken for the two. The distressed ones shed tears. In small talk, Zhang Minshi knew that Tsai Ming's mother was going to other places. On a business trip, when he mentioned Tsai Ming's father, Uncle and Tsai Ming were silent. Although he pretends not to care. Trickled up. But look at this awkward atmosphere. Jiang Min, he also seemed to understand something. After eating, Jiang Min, he discovered the cuteness of Tsai Ming again. Opened the drawer. They were all the same eyes. No wonder the glasses shattered from the fight. And it can become new again. The reason was found in Tsai Ming's bedroom. Zhang Minshi also found Tsai Ming's study planner. And at this very moment, Tsai Ming walked behind Zhang Minshi. The feeling of danger is looming. As Tsai Ming got closer and closer, the two were almost glued together. The girl's face is getting flushed too fast. I've heard that the first kiss will feel like you're on a plane. Is it true? This moment, Jaming's eyes were dangerously reflective. Now it's time to get down to business. Can you believe it? Yoon Jae-myung turned out to be such a person. He was actually with a beautiful girl. A lonely man and a widow in the same room. Take the beginning of the girl to watch TV. Study alone in your room. Jiang Min, he was speechless. How could there be a girl brought home? A boy who studies alone. And in the Ming, Juju saw another idea of the girl. It's hilarious, isn't it? He studied so badly and studied so hard. But you can understand more. Tsai Ming is such a person. Whether it's fighting outside or go through something painful, even if he stays up late, he has to complete today's task. He thought, try to get what you didn't have. Here. Jiang Min, he felt a little guilty. I wouldn't have dragged him out of play if I had known. So is his goal to be admitted to a prestigious university? My uncle said that these were secondary. Tsai Ming is very competitive. He's dealing with the toughest enemy in the world. That's yourself. I remembered how I lost to myself when I was a child. Don't look at this kid on the surface, but more competitive than anyone else. It can be said that he is studying now and not. The mind of the self contests. Here. Zhang Minshi couldn't help but smile stupidly, so handsome. But the uncle secretly revealed a trick that succeeded. There was something he didn't say about the expression. It's pretty handsome, but the root cause of all this all originated from Tsai Ming's father. That is his sister. And this time on the other side. The bald head is in a hurry. The bad one is looking for a boy and a girl. And the guy who calls with the bald head, but inexplicably a little familiar. That's right. It was the general vision that joined Yanbai Bay. Now he is a debt collector of Yanbai Capital. Now he in Tsai Ming's life. It's two extremes. One stands in the sun, a deep darkness. Now he's on a mission with the Yanbai gang. B. Responsible for the old people who borrowed from loan sharks. Debt collection drives those people to the brink of extinction. Prompt the other party to pay back. But he didn't feel guilty. People with gambling addiction. Extravagant and honest people. People who are addicted to alcohol. There are also fools who blindly overestimate their future. These people are in his eyes. It's all a bunch of irresponsible scum. As long as you can avenge your mother. Even if he gets his hands dirty, he won't hesitate to do it. But here's what's interesting. I want to help Jiang Min find his father's disaster. Was involved in the same task line as Pu Jianye. After this, Zhang Minshi will stay at Tsai Ming's house for a long time. Until his father is found. Of course, Minnie must be staying in Ming's mother's room. The other side of the picture. Pu Jianye is with that bald head. The identity of this bald head. It is the chief knight of the Awabai capital, Pu Jianya, in order to become Pai Yinbai's henchman. You can only start at the bottom, so it must find ways to please this disgusting guy. And those people who know the identity of Pu Jianya. It's all taken care of by in Taiwan. Now Pu Jianya can climb up with peace of mind. But Pu Jianya realized. Now, there is one last variable. That's on Taiwan. Pu Jianya casually asked in Taiwan, "What department do you work in?" On Taiwan showed a look of disdain. This information, it's like a deal with us. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Antai turned around and left, don't care too much about me. This is the time when feelings arise. Pu Jianya is bald in the office. The bald head has just completed an order. It was a woman who lent money to pay for her children's tuition. The bald head was very generous and borrowed 10,000 yuan more from the woman. Bunny Girl is grateful to bald head on behalf of, but he had no idea that this would be a bottomless abyss. The bald head brought up the messenger of the day again, complaining, if it weren't for that stinky boy with glasses. Zhang Minshi had already taken the bait when he saw it. But Pu Jianya was a little embarrassed in his heart. The stinky boy with glasses can't be him. It is said that hot-blooded comics don't need a heroine. But what if the heroine is like this, and that? In order to find Jiang Minhe's father, Tsai Ming asked his uncle to entrust various relationships. Finally, a region was locked. It's called Julie. At the same time, Pu Jianya's task also pointed to Zhang Minshi. She's on social platforms. Saw Jiang Minhe and her best friend Choi Se-won. If the group photo is according to their usual habits, it should be in an internet cafe. And just when Pu Jianya passed by an alley, but witnessed a school bullying, the thugs pointed to a teenager carrying a school bag. I just saw your mom just come out of a loan shark. Your mom wouldn't gamble too. It can't be a gambler. Ha ha ha, Pu Jianya, I knows it if you think about it. This morning, an aunt in order to pay for the child's tutoring borrowed usury. This is the aunt's son. Pu Jianya let out a sigh. It's not part of his job. In the alley, with a snap, the boy was knocked to the ground, punched and kicked by the thugs. And the thugs also robbed the boy of his money. The thugs ignored the boy's pleas. Turn and leave. And at this very moment, Pu Jianya finally couldn't help but make a move. Yes, in this world, there will be no palms for the sake of the debtor at all. But he still couldn't get used to this kind of scene, so his life was full of spears. He wants to avenge his mother. Feelings must be abandoned. But his nature. But they can't turn a blind eye to these things. Gu Jinya operated it down. Finally succeeded in helping the boy recover the money. But got the money. Gu Jinya still beat the gangsters wildly. To teach these gangsters a lesson. No more bullying boys in the future. After the fight, Pu Jianya returned the money to the boy. It's money your parents have worked so hard to earn for you. You have to take good care of it. Don't be patient. They'll bully you tomorrow. Weakness is not a sin, but to swallow your anger is to get drunk. In the internet cafe on the other side, Choi Se-won was chatting with Jiang Minhe, knowing that Jiang Minhe is now hiding in a famous house. Choi Se-won looks like a gossip. Oh my God. He won't like you. That shadow is really true. I pretended to be boring to you before. But he's so handsome. Also, heroes save the United States. Is it a prince? And what Choi Se-won didn't know was their calls. It has long been heard by Pu Jianya, who has just come in. And just when Choi Se-won was about to leave, Pu Jianya appeared behind him. Study group on the other side at this time. Rational and unhappy. Because Een Ziming didn't come to study for several days. In the future, you must find Mr. Han Jin to complain. And Jin Shurxian on the side had a black face. An expression of holding back something. It turned out that Kim Se-hyun was in a class of Yu Jae-myung. I happened to hear the content of Jae-myung's call. There was a girl's voice inside. I heard you right. What does it mean to be stuffy? It's not going to be locked up. Although this is his personal privacy. But it's not going to be a strange relationship. clearly state what he's doing. And at this time, he was walking on the way home, but accidentally bumped into one sloppy man. The man's appearance. A photo of his father that Minhee showed him. It's very similar. Jae-myung was going to go over and take a look. And Minhee, who is in Ming's house, is really boring. The sanitation was also done. The bowl was also brushed. There's not much left to do. Stuffy, he changed positions on the sofa. At this time, Minhee suddenly felt depressed. I remembered what Ming said. I always felt that your father did not deliberately betray you. He also believed in his father, because her father has always doted on her when he was there. What is my dad thinking now? And at this very moment, the doorbell rings. It's the way he points to lower the blood. He bought it with all his might. I don't know if they like it or not. And just when Fu Jin took the takeaway, one was torn and grabbed by a hand. Jang Minhee raised his head. Who is this man? How convenient it is to be handsome. In order to find Jang Minhee's location, Pu Jianye pretended to be an innocent little boy. Deceived Zhang Minxi's best friend's mobile phone. In Chui Shiwan's mobile phone. Got a transcript of his call with Jang Minhee. Sure enough, I found Zhang Minxi in the famous house in the shadow. Before finding it, Park Jianye was still a little incredulous. I don't know if it's good luck or bad luck. He was wonderfully involved with Siming again. And in the general health industry, he said that he was yen by. After the debt collection group, Zhang Minxi hurriedly pulled back the door. But he was held down by the general health industry. Pu Jianye squatted down and spoke. Next, remember what I said. I'm not here to get you. I just wanted to confirm where you are. You should know that the night captain is looking for you. Except for me. He's sure he'll send someone else to get you. If it's not me today, you're in danger. So be careful even if you order takeout in the future. After speaking, Pu Jianye turned around and left. You hide here until it's over. Jang Min, he asked weakly. What does the end of the matter mean? But Pu Jianye's answer made Zhang Minxi argue. Falling into the ice cave is of course to catch your dad. In order to get the debt back. Riding the mayor will make him worse than dead. You don't have to sympathize with you. He did it to satisfy his greed. Obviously, I don't have the ability to borrow usury. In the end, his daughter was implicated and ran away alone. And your dad went to the chief knight before he disappeared. I guess he made some kind of deal with you as collateral. It doesn't matter if you're a beast. I won't let him go easily. Got the message. Tsai Ming also hurried back. Saw the depressed Jang Minhee. He still couldn't believe that his father was like that. Early the next morning, Jang Minhee still went out with his bag. Fortunately, he was intercepted halfway by Tsai Ming. Fortunately, Tsai Ming gets up every day to exercise in the morning. Tsai Ming can see it at a glance. Jang Minhee is looking for that bald head. Because this is the only way to save his father. Jang Minhee fiddled with his phone at a loss. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Ignore your family. Blindly expanding the business. In the end, a huge amount of money is owed. Such a terrible dad. I still don't have the courage to leave him alone. Why should I still worry about him? Talking and talking. Jang Minhee's tears couldn't be stopped. Why do I want to save him? And it's in Zhang Min. He is constantly belittling himself. Tsai Ming's hand was on his shoulder. Don't believe what the loan shark says. There's a basis for your trust in your post, isn't it? I think the only way to see him is to see him in person. To know what he really thinks. I'll find you a father. If you think it's right, I'm going to make that guy apologize to your father. You shouldn't just say that your dad is a bad person. In this way, the next day, Zaimi was gone. And on the other side, Harrow alone there. A thin figure stood in the middle of a group of people. Someone who talks to a bald head. I thought I was a guest. And the bald head fell into thought. No, why does this kid look so familiar? Finally, he remembered the scene of that day. This wasn't the little thing of the day. The bald head trembled with anger. The voice trembled and the opening grasped. Catch that guy for me. How secure are the people who are being taken care of by Zaimi? In order to make the bald head no longer harass Jang Minhee, Ziming broke into the bald den alone. He also carried his exclusive weapon, the nunchuck, with him. And Minhee in Tsai Ming's house. I also thought of this possibility, because when Tsai Ming just went out, I asked him where the bald head was. But then Jiang Minhee dispelled that idea. Because of the boy. Tamara seems to have a lot of homework today. Slow down what this is. What the hell is practicing nunchucks? Yes, that's exactly what is in the people. Tasks that are to be completed every once in a while. Today, I just used these gangsters as human punching bags. But these gangsters are for Tsai Ming. Obviously not enough to practice. It's going to be over after a while. Bald head sitting in the back. The body not only stepped back a little. Fortunately, the last yellow hair made a move. As soon as Huang Mao came up, he attacked fiercely. The fierce full front made Tsai Ming dodge one after another. But the next moment, he was whipped with a stick. Then there was another crazy combo. This is a trick that my uncle forbids. The 8th trick is the death game nunchuck. Then Tsai Ming strode towards the bald head. Stop harassing Jiang Minhee. And where is Jiang Minhee's father? The bald head was scared into a cold sweat. Hurriedly called Pu Jianya. Where is it now? Are you looking for Zhang Shunming? Although Gu Jianya wondered how the bald head knew, but still answered. He now knows Zhang Shunming's location. An unmanned hotel in Guiyang district. He will beat Zhang Shunming half to death. Bring it over again. With the phone all hung up, the bald head only looked up, looked at Yong Jaeming, who was staring at him. You can leave me alone now. Got the message. Yin Jaeming hurriedly ran towards the location on the phone. And left bald, secretly called Yin Baibang. Let some of the more powerful people over there come over. And at this time, I'm on the other side, but he showed a ghostly expression. He was even crazier than I thought. Such a thing must be stopped. And Zhang Shunmin, who everyone is looking for. I was drinking in the hotel. There was a strange bag of pills on the wine table. After typing a paragraph on my phone, Zhang Shunmin showed a pair. A death-defying expression. At this time, he was looking for Jiang Minhee's father. But at this time of crisis, I can't get a taxi. Guiyang district is far from here. The ominous premonition grew stronger. It's good at this time. Jae-myung happened to meet Kim Soon-cheol, who was riding a motorcycle. On the way, Kim Soon-cheol enlightened Jae-myung. Now this society, the line between good and bad has long been blurred. Sometimes hunger is necessary. For example, the current journey school, although it got rid of the control of the Korean language. But there were also new troubles. Even himself. It was also because of the yin by gang at the beginning, to be able to earn money for grandpa's treatment. The real world is different from comics and movies. We will eventually accept sin. Bad people are winners. Ing Siming asked, then if some people are really desperate, what to do before you make that choice? Kim Soon-cheol borrowed what Officer Rothaean had told him. A person who can only achieve his goal by committing evil deeds. Poor people for sure. But even if it's a choice that has to be made, if it is through unethical means to achieve the goal, then it must be edified with the arrival at the destination. Kim Soon-cheol left Jae-myung behind. One last word. I don't know exactly what's going on though. But remember me when you're feeling confused. No reason can be an excuse for evil. At Tsai Ming's house, Jiang Minhee's phone rang suddenly. Zhang Minshi thought it was a message sent to him by Tsai Ming. But the next moment his phone faded to the ground. Such a fact is simply unacceptable to Jiang Minhee. Text messages on your phone. It turned out to be his father's last words for him. Fortunately, Zhang Shunming at this time did not get his wish. Pu Jinya broke in at the right time. He also saw through Zhang Shunmin's thoughts. When looking for clues from Zhang Shunmin, he had been to Zhang Shunmin's house. I saw the notice of accident insurance. He will not let Zhang Shunmin seek death. The truth was punctured. Zhang Shunmin raised the wine bottle and walked towards Pu Jianya. And Pu Jianya just grabbed Zhang Shunmin's hand. Easy to dissolve. In the eyes of Pu Jianya, this uncle, It's no different from the scum he's been in contact with. I know I'm irresponsible. What kind of humiliation will it make for her daughter? It's so reasonable. You're the deader ghost sect I've ever seen. The worst scum. And at this very moment, the door frame opened. Zaiming couldn't catch up in time. Sure enough, it's your voice. Pu Jianya. Ding Zaiming finally figured out that he was the enemy of Pu Jianya. Before coming, Kim Soon-Kole's transformation woke him up. He knew about Pu Jianya's mother. So I understand Pu Jianya's mood very well. He felt that he should not interfere in Pu Jianya's affairs. But he has now changed his mind. Said, Zaiming raised his fist and rushed towards Pu Jianya. I'm going to do my best to get in your way now. After all, no reason can be an excuse for evil. Under the words of the people, Pu Jianya's eyes were full of despair. Hinder. When I was a child, he came back from abroad for the first time. Mom's love for him in every way. A smile and a smile are so profound. In order to see my mother more, he voluntarily gave up studying abroad. But that good time, because of the salt white gang, it turned into soaking oil. Pu Jian is angry and gritted his teeth hard. Why are you? What qualifications do you have? In the face of the anger of the general health industry, Zaiming hurriedly dodged backwards. Also took advantage of the gap between the attacks of the general health industry. A counterattack was carried out. The general construction industry recovered quickly. The backhand is punched again, but it was still blocked by the Zaiming. And with one blow, Pu Jianya flew out. But today's general construction industry is no longer imaginable. He stabilized his body in an instant, kicked the people over. The uncle on the side is going to look stupid. Is this specifically aimed at the fight of the gods? Pu Jianya rubbed his wrist. He had to get rid of Yoon Jae-min's obstacles. The night chief asked me to bring Jang Minhee back, but he now knows I'm looking for Zhang Shunmin. If Pu Jianya can't even catch Zhang Shunmin back, his evaluation in the organization will be greatly reduced. This also means the chance to approach Dermatitis White will be lost. Thinking, Pu Jianya once again set a set of combos to attack the people. After a few consecutive blocks, Zaiming finally discovered the changes in Pu Jianya. The speed of his combo is comparable to that of my uncle. He felt it before. Pu Jianya's skills are not ordinary. It seems that Pu Jianya is really hiding his strength. And after receiving several attacks from Pu Jianya again, Zaiming discovered another fact. That is, although Pu Jianya has become more powerful now, nor is it his opponent. Under this punch from Jae-ming, the civil construction industry slammed into the wall behind him. In the next moment, the civil engineering industry started slowly. Yoon Jae-myung's face was full of incredulity. He knows it well. How heavy was the punch he just made? But Pu Jianya was still able to stand up. In that moment, an unspeakable, the strangeness made the people shudder. What has Pu Jianya experienced? And at this very moment, Zhang Shunmin actually took advantage of the chaos and jumped from the upstairs. Carry. The people and Pu Jianya stopped their movements at the same time. Pu Jianya pushed away the people in front of him. Look out. Good thing it's the second floor. Zhang Shunmin just took the opportunity to escape. Pu Jianya turned his head and looked at Zaiming viciously. If he died, it's all your fault. As he spoke, he jumped straight down. Hear the words of Pu Jianya. Jaemin also hurriedly climbed up the window. Remember Jang Minhee's helpless appearance. Uncle is going to die, no. And just when Diamond was about to catch up, was pulled back by an arm. Is it him? But a milky kid. What kind of person is Jang Minhee's father? He was on the last day of his death. Left a last word to Minshi. Let Minshi within 3 months after his death. Renounce the right to inherit the estate. Break off his debts. He also had an accident insurance. The beneficiary of the insurance is written as Jang Minhee. This is the last thing he can do for Minshi. Perhaps there is nothing more important in this world than money. You have money to be a parent. You have money to get married. Happiness is also bought with money. Daddy is sorry for you. Let you be wronged. You must be happy. Looking at my father's last words, the text message, Zhang Minshi couldn't stop trembling. Right now, he didn't even know where his father was. What else can he do? And at this very moment, ding dong, heard the bell ring. It's Lee Jun and Kim Sher-hyun who are here. No, it's really a girl. I'll just say that Tsai Ming has been very strange lately. And this time on the other side. Tsai Ming is in a race against the thugs. Soon Tsai Ming ran to the door. Hands jerked, so he locked the thugs inside. Then he rushed towards Zhang Minshi's father. At the same time, Pu Jianye is also in Chaolu. Running up, the current Zhang Shunmin is standing on the rooftop. Zhang Shunmin looked at Pu Jianye indifferently. What's so nice about this? You have to chase after it. Pu Jianye could only try to appease Zhang Shunmin's emotions. Be prepared to find a chance to stop it. In the general construction industry is slowly approaching. Zhang Shunmin told the story as if he were talking to himself. Actually, I've always wanted to be a painter. But the family is too poor. I can only be a good son. Follow your parents' words and study steadily. Admitted to a prestigious university. Entered one of the largest companies in China. But they are not yet satisfied. They also want me to be the boss of the company, like everyone else. Or become a great big man. It's ridiculous. Obviously, I've tried so hard. They still only complain every day. Later, although both have passed away. But I've always felt guilty. I always feel that I haven't fulfilled their wishes in life. In the end, it ended up here. I sometimes wonder, if I had given up being a good son, I became a painter, wouldn't it have turned out differently? And Gu Jianye's words are still cold. Don't be funny. And what about your daughter? You sold Jiang Minhee to the night chief. Isn't he pitiful? He almost gave up everything because of you. And to hear this, Zhang Shunmin showed a frightened expression. The night grows this bastard. However, he noticed the difference in the mouth of the civil construction industry. It means that his daughter is okay now. And just when Zhang Shunmin's spirit was relaxed, the civil engineering industry rushed forward with a brisk step, prepared to drag Zhang Shunmin back. The screen turns. Zhang Shunmin has been tied up by Pu Jianye. It was ridiculous for him to mock Zhang Shunmin. Because of this suicidal behavior, the insurance company will not pay for it. Instead, it will only leave endless pain for the family, bitterness and grievances. Zhang Shunmin after his death. People who also want to package themselves. He's seen a lot. And at this very moment, a man walked over. Pu Jianye thought he was here to answer. Li Fu in the store walked away. And at this very moment, Pu Jianye seemed to suddenly realize something. Looked at the smile on the corner of Zhang Shunmin's mouth. He understood, yes. Suicide really can't cheat the insurance money. But Zhang Shunmin's real purpose is to find someone to kill yourself. How great is fatherly love in order to make her daughter live a good life in the future. This man chose to find someone to kill him. Get insurance money for your daughter. Seeing that the solver's knife is about to fall, a smile appeared on the corner of Zhang Shunmin's mouth. He was afraid of death. When I was a child, I knew that people would die one day, and cried, but at that time, he wanted to die every day. Those countless loans, it's like a bottomless abyss. When he experienced the torture of hell. Later, Zhang Shunmin began to plan how to die. But at the moment when the knife was about to fall, he was afraid. It turned out to be a real hell. It was the moment of death that came to an end. And at this very moment, the imaginary death did not happen. Pu Jianye is at this critical moment. Kick the man away. Solve the problem and talk to yourself. It's not the same as saying yes. Meanwhile, Lee Jun and Kim Se-hyun also know about it from Kim Soon-ji, the location where Yoon Jae-myung got off the bus last. But just when Jiang Min-hee was about to rush forward, was stopped by Kim Se-hyun, because there is a big hole in the beehive downstairs of the hotel. They shouldn't be here anymore. But it's not too late. There are no high-rise buildings here. At this time on the rooftop, Pu Jianye and the solver have been fighting together. Zhang Shunmin shouted at this time, "Wait a minute. I repented. I'm sorry, please go back." The solver rummaged in his pockets for a while. Took out another knife to tease me? You think it's like ordering food in a restaurant. I'm sorry. I refuse to go back. And while the solver has a knife in his hand, the rocket blades still rush forward quickly. I fought with the solver with a knife. The solution is to feel a little strange. He clearly had a knife in his hand. This man was undaunted. At first I thought, this guy is just used to fighting and killing. But now it seems not. He was really not scared at all. Soon Gu Jianye caught the flaw. Gave the solver a punch. How much is needed? How much do you usually give, but it will kill people? Yes, it is precisely the existence of such professions. The value of life becomes worthless. It is because they use money to calculate life. Only then will there be people who are despicable and shameless to hide behind their backs and harm others. Pu Jianye beat the man wildly. If it weren't for the presence of these people, neither would his mother have suffered misfortune. Pu Jianye opened his mouth coldly. How much does the riding mayor give you? See the lie being punctured. The man picked up the knife again, rushed towards Zhang Shimon's side. Fortunately, it was stopped by Pu Jianye's flying pounce. Silence does not mean acquiescence. The next moment, the two fought together again. And in this encounter, Pu Jianye was sealed. Settlement divisions have the advantage of weapons. It has been consuming the strategy of Pugiani. At such consumption, Pu Jianye's fists have become a little weak. In the next moment, Pu Jianye actually grabbed the solver's knife with his bare hands, directly hit the solver with his head. With another punch, the finger pot no longer knows when, appeared in the hands of Pu Jianye. It was a decisive blow to the solution. And here the battle of Pu Jianye has just been resolved. The chief knight arrived with his men. Pu Jianye, did you make people like this? As he spoke, the chief knight dragged the solver, walked to the edge of the rooftop. It seems that there seems to be some misunderstanding between us. As the knight commander dropped the solver off the rooftop, he walked again, in front of Pu Jianye. Give this a glove and this guy's knife. You come to stab. Do you know what the weight of life is? Pu Jianye has obviously decided. Give up everything for revenge. But he was at this critical juncture. Chose the anti-water gold mayor. Just now, Mayor Kim arrogantly told the truth of the matter. It turned out that it was all a conspiracy of Mayor Kim. He was first after Zhang Shunmin left. Zhang Minshi said that his father abandoned him. Then he bought the gang on the other side of Julie. Persuade Zhang Shunmin to seek death. So, not only can it squeeze out all the value of Zhang Shunmin, can also turn Jiang Minhe into a tool for him to make money. And he did 1,000 calculations, but he missed the kindness in Pu Jianye's heart. Pu Jianye helped Zhang Shunmin untie the rope. Liang choked and walked towards the thugs. Said weakly to Zhang Shunmin, I'll let you go today. The money must be returned. To survive. Yes, he has experienced the pain of the death of a loved one. So he knows that for children, when a parent dies, it's like the sky falling. Pumi also clenched his teeth. He knew that he was destined to be more than lucky this time. Mom, I can't seem to get revenge on you. That's when it happened. A thug was suddenly knocked to the ground inexplicably. At the same time, a voice sounded in Western Fujian. This little girl is so kind. Also bought us blood drops. At most, I treated him to a fried chicken. I'm the person who doesn't like to owe favors to others. That's right. It was Xylene and his uncle who had just arrived. Interestingly, the two of them were just standing there. Just let the countless thugs cringe. Don't dare to step forward. Missing Leaves is also at this time, relieved to faint. At this time, a gangster who was not afraid of death pushed his uncle. Uncle ignored it. Is still talking to Zai Ming. They are outnumbered. Let's be careful. As he spoke, his uncle punched the thugs away. Because if you can't control the force a little, someone will fall. Today's task is to settle it all. But you can't get a human life. Tsai Ming sprinted to indicate receipt. The thugs were also enraged by their uncle's words, rushing towards the two. Soon, Tsai Ming took the lead in punching the thugs. Then another punch was thrown into the crowd, faced the gangsters who rushed over with several digits. Tsai Ming pulled out a nunchuck from his pocket. With a flick of his hand, all the surrounding thugs took off. Uncle looked at Tsai Ming with a little envy. I came with that. Nunchucks are suitable for multiple opponents. It seems that your uncle usually didn't teach you in vain. Thinking about it, my uncle dragged him towards the two thugs. Look at it, I'll teach you now. What to do when you don't have nunchucks, said. Uncle threw the two thugs into a windmill. The thugs cowered and did not dare to step forward. If you eat it, you won't die or be crippled. And one of the thugs took a knife and leaked the stereo. Didn't you ever play rope jumping in school? Saying that, the gangsters found the right time and quickly rushed to their uncle. And, just as he was about to get his hands on it, a nunchuck will beat the gangsters stupidly. Tsai Ming was speechless. Uncle, don't mess around. Didn't you say a quick fix? Uncle was also serious at the moment. Originally, I wanted them to be strict with about 5 moves. The uncle lifted the nunchucks of the slaughterers and jumped up. Believe me, I'm going to double down on my return. Fujian's father, Zhang Shunmin, was stunned. He's down now, but I've seen a lot of insomnia in my life. This is the first time I've seen this kind of scene. Nephew and uncle. I don't know exactly what the situation is, but you can see that they are a great family. And at this very moment, Tsai Ming suddenly looked frightened. Oops, he didn't control the force well. The thugs are about to fly out. Fortunately, a hand appeared at this time and grabbed the thug. It was Zhang Shunmin who reacted in time. Zhang Shunmin insisted. Even if the eyes are red, they still haven't let go. With the end of the matter, Tsai Ming went to the hospital first with Pu Jianye on his back. The uncle walked behind Zhang Shunmin with his waist inserted. Thanks to your help. Otherwise, my nephew will die. This world is too cruel, isn't it? Opportunities and pains can come at any time. A dark life unless you roll under the bed. Otherwise, it is impossible to wake up from a nightmare. But you just felt it. Zhang Shunming was a little puzzled. I mean, that guy was a gangster, though. But what does it feel like you hold on to him? Isn't it heavy? This is the value of life. After saying that, the two also walked downstairs. Zhang Shunmin couldn't help but look down. Protective netting is just the solution division. He double-checked the weight of life. And the two had just come out. A sound from Dad came from afar. Across the road are 3 figures. And the guy in the middle. It was by Li Jun and Kim Shirsian. Jiang Minhee who brought it over. With everyone's efforts, Jiang Minhee finally found his father as he wished. At the moment of meeting my father, Zhang Minhee first gave Zhang Shunmin a heavy punch. And without Zhang Xuanming's explanation, Minhee threw herself into Zhang Xuanming's arms. At the moment when the women hugged each other tightly, all contradictions were resolved. It turns out that whether it is a debt or Mayor Kim's business, Zhang Shunmin doesn't need to explain. Minhee only hopes that his father is by his side. It was already ready. Zhang Shunmin with 1,000 words. In the end, it only turned into a sentence of Western Fujian. Daddy is sorry for you. Look at this scene. Kim Shirhyun smiled with relief. He knows this feeling very well. At this time, Tsai Ming, who had just walked out of the hospital. The phone rang suddenly. The remarks on the phone shocked Tsai Ming. It turned out to be Mr. Han Jing. In Ming's fingers trembled, he pressed the answer button. But there was no sound on the phone for a long time. After asking a few more times, suddenly there was a strange ringing on the other end of the phone. Then he hung up with a beep. The next day, Jingdao was running in the hospital in a hurry. Soon ran to Pu Jianye's ward. And Pu Jianye, who was seriously injured and fainted yesterday. At the moment, he is slowly dragging the disease spectrum. He plans to be discharged from the hospital today. Jiangdo asked in a panic. I remember you said on the phone that you had brought down Mayor King. So is this plan in vain? Remembered Lee Jun's words that day. He thought it was better. As friends, he didn't want Pu Jianya to do such a dangerous thing again. And without the words of Chung Do-hoon's persuasion, Pu Jianya said it was no different. The result is the same anyway. Mayor Kim on the other side at this time. I want to go to Pu Jianya for revenge. But by his eldest brother, Zhu Xian, who was walking along the white secretary's room, stopped. Mayor Jean hurriedly lowered his posture. What are you doing here? But I didn't expect it. Zhu Xian actually grabbed his neck. I didn't tell you. Do things in a measured way. Because you and I can't see anyone, you know. Dead pig's head turned out. Mayor Jean used the way he treated Zhang Xingmin for personal gain. Li is not once or twice. And Pu Jianya was already aware of it when he was on the construction site. So Pu Jianya took advantage of the chaos before fainting. Secretly took Mayor Kim's mobile phone. Black barriers were found there. Threatened Zhu Xian with this. After that, Hello Capital changed its new head. Pu Jianya was also arranged into the secretary's office as he wished. And the Qiying title on the other side. But he smiled happily. Things are getting more and more interesting. Afternoon, Zhang Shunmin took Zhang Minxi to visit Pu Jianya. But he got the news that Pu Jian was discharged from the hospital. Zhang Min he didn't understand. At the end of the day, he didn't ask you to pay off his debts. Sure enough, it's a bad guy. One of them is a loan shark. Of what is owed. Anyway, those guys. I'm going to continue to torture my dad. And Zhang Shunmin has already seen it. You can't go into debt and not pay it back. Zhang Minhe comforted the outrageous loan sharks. Legally, it is not necessary to pay it back, even if you can't afford to go through the legal process now. I can also be a lawyer in the future. And at this very moment, when it arrived, the voice suddenly sounded. Are you Mr. Zhang Shunmin? The two looked back. A man who exudes savvy workouts all over his body. Right behind them. First meeting. I'm lawyer Lee Junbin. All your debts in the future. I'll take care of it. The fee has already been paid. Includes the cost of winning the case. The man pushed his glasses and was reassured. Deal with that kind of scum? I've never lost a case. And Zhang Minxi is a little puzzled, I know this. But who paid for the lawyer's fees? The man said he didn't know much either. But do you know this person? Meanwhile, on the other side, Antai was speechless. The car of the Fujin industry. It was here yesterday. He's not going to sell it. Yes, Pugiani is after the matter is over. Received a note from Jamin. Let him and Zhang Min apologize. This is exactly how Pugiani apologized. Pugiania was hanging out. But I unexpectedly met the aunt who borrowed money that day. Aunt thought that Pugiania was here to collect debts. Hurriedly begged for money, and it would definitely be returned tomorrow. I didn't expect this to be the back of Pugiania's head, but a dose of pan. This is the teenager who was bullied that day. After Pugiania turned back, the boy remembered the events of that day. You're not. Pugiania just turned around and left silently. Yes, after this incident, he knew that there were bad people in the world. But some people are cornered. That's why I made this choice. Just like himself. At this time, Zhang Sunmin and Zhang Minhe sitting at the door of their homes. I'm eating fried chicken. Minnie casually said that I want to go to cram school. Zhang Shunmin was a little puzzled. Aren't you not interested in learning? I don't know, but I suddenly want to study. Zhang Minhe's eyes sparkled. Parents will provide for their children's education no matter how hard they are. You'll give me a chance to show myself, too. No matter how you say it. I also came from a prestigious university. The daughter of the high-achieving student. And before Zhang Shunming was moved, Zhang Minxi gave Zhang Shunming a thunderbolt on a sunny day. Don't eat it yet. I'm going to meet someone. Go meet someone I like. The girl couldn't have imagined it. The boy he was attracted to at first sight. And took him out of that way. Pulled back from the abyss of despair. Originally, he just thought that Tsai Ming was handsome. Want to talk more. Unexpectedly, it was because of the appearance of Tsai Ming. Brought him sunshine that he had never had before. This time he is ready to officially be. Express your heart clearly. And at the same time, an uncle who had just finished drinking with his friends. There are still some things to be desired. But at this time, happened to meet Zhang Shunmin, who was a little wrong. The uncle just went up and patted Zhang Shunmin on the shoulder. Scared Zhang Shunmin enough. I panicked and explained that I wasn't trying to peek at him. Just a little worried. Uncle winched his eyes. I saw the shadow standing downstairs. Ming and Zhang Mingxi. He understood something immediately. This one looks really interesting. But the next moment, he picked up Zhang Shunmin by the waist. Adults don't have to know all about children's world. Said, just hugged the reluctant Zhang Shunmin and ran away from afar. That being the case, why don't you just have a drink with me? And the farce over there didn't know about it. Zhang Mingxi looks like a girl who thinks of spring. I'm here today to thank you. Thank you for helping me and Dad. Jae Ming, this big straight man. I can't see Zhang Mingxi's careful thinking at all. It doesn't matter. My uncle and I were voluntary. And Zhang Mingxi's expression is becoming more and more shy. I've heard that if guys don't like each other, I won't take my time for him. I mean, if you like me, it can be confessed. And Jiang Min, he said that the confession was very small. The people did not hear it. Jiang Min, he repeated it again, really. Confession, I don't know. Don't play dumb. It's a pity that this time the people still can't hear clearly. It means that I really can't hear the sentence in the middle. The angry Zhang Mingxi shouted directly to confess. Don't you understand the confession? And Zhang Mingxi's shout. But it attracted a study group that was eavesdropping on the gossip. Li Jun pushed a few people next to him aside. I'll just say that the atmosphere is not right. Didn't he just call you more than half? Jiang Minhe, who was interrupted from a good thing, was a little embarrassed. Lian again and again said that it was okay. It's okay. Cui Shiyuan was a little surprised. Is this the girl who is helping the people? It's so beautiful in the midst of a few people's small talk. Zhang Mingxi understood. These people are all friends of the Xiamin study group. Jiang Min, he was surprised. It turned out that he had also formed study groups. It's so cute. He found that he knew more about the people. There will be a lot of surprises. Li Jun suddenly looked lewd. Is that friend of yours doing okay? Finally, the conversation is back to business. Did Mr. Hanjin really call you? Zhang Mingxi didn't understand it. But I'm also listening. Speaking of this, Yin Saming's expression instantly turned cold. Yes. Mr. Hanjin called me. But as soon as I picked it up, it hung up. Jiang Min, he raised his hand and asked the teacher. The call and hanging up? Is this so serious? Tsai Ming's expression was serious because the teacher suddenly disappeared. Under the explanation of the study group, Jiang Min, he finally realized the seriousness of the matter. Li Jun asked Teacher Tan Jing when she called, Didn't you really hear anything? At this time, Tsai Ming suddenly shouted jingle bells. Jingle bell before delivery. The study group was a little speechless. Tsai Ming would make such a strange sound. At this time, Zhang Mingxi looked surprised. He knew the voice. Send this tone forward. Only the Tsing Ma School of Nishi will have it. This is the sound of a game hall open underground in the school. It is also a so-called gambling game. At first glance, it sounds like giving money away for nothing. But in another sense, it can also be understood as someone else to send money. But if you want to investigate, you have to enter Tsing Ma School. The study groups were at a loss. How can this be investigated? But Zhang Mingxi said that he had a way. Because I'm a student at Tsing Ma School. A girl in love. How strange the mind is. After learning that Tsai Ming was looking for his teacher, Zhang Mingxi immediately took the initiative to respond. I want to help Tsai Ming find a teacher he respects. If you're missing, you can't take care of the girl you like. Jiang Minhe decided. Let Tsai Ming confess to him without any worries. In order to find clues to the arcade, Zhang Mingxi first used the beauty trick. Just a few words. Just get a thug willing to help. The thugs also mistakenly thought that Jiang Minhe was interesting to him. But in fact, Zhang Mingxi in the back looked disgusted. Finally, under the leadership of the gangsters, Jiang Min he came to the destination Kimachang. Minnie was a little surprised. There are so many people here. The thug asks Jiang Min why he doesn't play. Jiang Min just said he was a little nervous. In fact, they're looking around. Also quietly sent a message to Tsai Ming. I heard that all the people who come here are regulars. The man holding Mr. Han Jin's mobile phone will come back for sure. After Tsai Ming replied to the message, just as Kim Se-hyun came over, although Mr. Han Jin still hasn't found it. But with this clue, teacher Han Jin's chances of survival have become greater again. They will definitely be able to join Han Jin again. Learn at the same time. Lee Jun from another class was also thinking the same thing, but he still didn't understand. Why did Pu Jianya say such a thing? Thinking about it, Lee Jun turned around and happened to see Zheng Daoxuan passing by. Zheng Daoxuan hurriedly covered people in horror. Asked Lee Jun not to ask him about Pu Jianya. Lee Jun was speechless. And at this very moment, Young Do-hoon collided with a thug. The gangster gave Zheng Daoxuan a slap on the backhand, arrogantly made Zheng Daoxuan apologize. Lee Jun looked serious. He found out what the problem was. Nowadays, the school does not have the Korean language. But in fact, when Pai Han didn't appear, the school is not saved. The student council president, Tinchi Maru, and the bossine. Not everything can be taken into account in the Ming dynasty. He also has a responsibility to correct the school climate. On the other side at this point, Yu Daojin found Ji Yonghyun. He wants Ji Yonghyun to help him get back to the factory. But Ji Yingzhan's face became more and more dangerous. I appreciate your unyielding spirit, but the way you breathe down now, I was disappointed. Meanwhile, another group of people appeared. These are the strategies of Singma School. As soon as the bosses of the two parties met, they began to quarrel. But Qi Yingzhan ignored their quarrel. He was just curious. Ming went so far as to say that there was no need for the control of 7 schools. But he wasn't worried, because today, those 7 schools are without the protection of Bailyin. Singma School has already started to do it to them. When the time comes, the hero will have to step forward. And the so-called Savior Road was overturned. Will leave a deeper impression. The picture returns to Lee Jun's side. 2 weeks after Lee Jun made up his mind, Choi Moo-kyu was a witness. Lee Jun started the battle for the rankings. Lee Jun directly challenged the first-grade boss. Although Jiang Taiwu was once Lee Jun, I don't even have the qualifications to fight Jiang Taiwu. Yes, but for the current Lee Jun, Jiang Taiwu is a little quack. At this moment, everyone present saw it. It turned out that when the Haechang school was leveled, among them, Lee Jun is not used to make up the numbers. It's just that Een Zonming's light is too dazzling. Obscured Lee Jun's light. And finally, with the fall of Lee Jun's last kick. First grade status. Artist. I want to ask why Lee Jun's hair has become longer now. It's because the barbershop he frequented was suspended for the past 2 days. After taking the position of boss, Lee Jun and the study group went home after school. But I happened to see it. The boy who was bullied at Haechang School that day. Now their school is no longer owned by me. They need the help of the people. However, the current Ximin is facing a new crisis. His dad is back. Do you know how rebellious Ximin's family affairs are? President of the National Taekwondo Association. Jeon Mi-hyun is Jamin's mother. Borrowed Taekwondo style. The winner of the competition is none other than his mother. Uncle Ximin is the male protagonist of the Howlim gymnasium next door. As soon as I went out, there was a group of little brothers. Ji Kyun-do is on par with Jamin. It might even be a little better. And then there's Jae Ming's father. From the whole play to now, there has been no face. But I can be sure that he is a very good person. And just today, Jae Myong's dad is back. At this time, a young man was driving a car. I didn't expect him to be worried about rising prices. I met the porcelain again. This made him live an already hard life. To add insult to injury, the young man angrily stepped forward and grabbed the man by the collar. But to no avail. passers-by who don't know the truth. They all condemned the young man. I hit someone and want to hit someone. That's too much for a student. The young man knew he was doing it this time. And just when the young man was worried, a man walked up to him, offered to let him take a look. The man walked over to the toucher. A touch of porcelain. Isn't it a little scared at the end? If you want to hit it harder. You see, there are no injuries all over the body. These words directly angered the porcelain toucher. Got help from the lad. Hurriedly asked about the man's boldness. The man stood up with his waist hunched up. I was a doctor who happened to be passing by. And at the same time, Jang Min-hee is also looking for Jae-min. He had just inquired about a little clue about Mr. Hanjin. You have to tell Tsai Ming before you go to cram school. Good before that. Zhang Minshi downloaded the positioning software in the morning. He was going to go to Tsai Ming in person. Jang Min-hee showed a wicked smile that had succeeded in his trick. Soon came to the restaurant where Tsai Ming was. Is that my future father-in-law? Don't say anything to me. But isn't today's makeup a little thick? But Zhang Minshi didn't expect it. The father and son feel really different. In small talk, Tsai Ming's father found out. Ming's mother went on a business trip abroad. Tsai Ming's father is a pity. It feels like God is deliberately breaking me up and your mother. And Tsai Ming's eyes, when he looked at his father, were full of love. Study groups on the other side also got the news that Tsai Ming's father was back. Jin Shixian knows a little about Tsai Ming's father. I heard that Tsai Ming's father, Dr. Yin Jinghao, is a specialist. He also obtained 2 of the highest degrees in the field of biology, MD and PhD. It is also a university in the country, the youngest recipient of a PhD degree. It can be said that it is a genius among geniuses. Previously, when the ship of Country K was hijacked in Somalia, he became famous overnight for saving the captain who was wounded by a gunshot. But magically, after becoming famous, he has been the director of the Institute of Medicine and the attending physician of the Chable. His career is going well, but he is suddenly announced that he would give up everything and go abroad. There are rumors. He is now a member of Médecins Sans Frontières, MSF. Activity, he gave up all his fame and wealth, became a mysterious man who traveled the world. That's Yin Saiming's father. Then the study group has a question. That Yin Saiming is so obsessed with learning. Is it because his dad is terrible? Shin Se-hyun said that maybe it wasn't because of this. At this time, knowing that Tsai Ming formed a study group, his father suddenly gave a thumbs up to Tsai Ming. It's handsome. Dad also started study groups when he was a child. A man always has to have a few good teammates. Tsai Ming's expression was even happier. Yes, Daddy is his hero. He's always on TV. I saw my father's handsome appearance. Childhood. I dreamed of being as good as my father. And my mother has been worried about him like this. He found out later. It's because he doesn't have a talent for learning. Grandpa and Grandma looked down on him and Mom. Whenever Grandma asked, when I took a few places in the exam, Tsai Ming's mother will forcibly cover Tsai Ming's ears, pulled Tsai Ming away, and his father supported him as always, although the 2 places were later separated. But he still likes his dad very much. At the same time, Zhang Minshi also secretly poked his head out. He sent so many messages. I don't even look at my phone. At first glance, I like my dad very much. And at this moment, Zhang Minshi seemed to have discovered something. Who is that person? At this time, Jae-ming was still chatting with his father. Dad told Tsai Ming, don't try so hard to be like him. At this time, an unkind voice suddenly sounded. I can't be if I want to be. Unproductive guys. Soon a group of people appeared in front of the 2. The one who takes the lead is one that exudes high class. The old man with the breath. It's been a long time since I've seen you. There's such a thing in this world. Grandpa even found out about Fujin Shi, who was hiding on the side. When Tsai Ming and Grandpa were standing together, there will be an indescribable atmosphere. Tsai Ming himself actually doesn't know his grandfather. I just know that Grandpa is an amazing big man. Some people call him chairman. Some people call him teacher. Some people call him an old man. Each name is different. But the reason why Tsai Ming doesn't know his grandfather, it's because he's not interested at all. From the time I can remember, Grandpa is so serious. At the dinner table, Dad Ming talked happily. He became a national hero. Grandpa actually said that Jae Ming's father was just pursuing fame. It instantly made the atmosphere a little colder. But Daddy still said with a smile, he didn't save people for the sake of fame. Because I'm a doctor. I did this because I was a doctor. At this moment, Nana smiled with relief. And the grandfather's expression was even more serious. Reprimanded Tsai Ming. Dad is just chasing the ethereal. More attention should be paid to honor and profit. Such disgusting words. Tsai Ming didn't hear it once or twice. I'm used to it. Moreover, Grandpa would always look at him like that, even though Tsai Ming is still young. He also understood that it was a look of contempt. And the grandfather, who hasn't seen him in years, it's still that kind of look, also said that Tsai Ming has a bad brain. And just when the atmosphere was raging, an unpleasant voice came. No, not a guy who doesn't have a chance. I don't know anything, but I'm talking nonsense. It's infuriating. This angry grandfather. The bodyguards around him immediately ran over. Who is so bold? And the master who speaks. Exactly the women who pretended to be on the phone. See the bodyguards. Min Shi smiled and explained that he was just on the phone. Later, he continued to fan the flames. But don't you feel angry? As an adult, I don't know the dream of supporting my child. On the contrary, he still persists. Arbitrarily determine whether a person is good or not. Don't you find it very unappetizing? I was stunned like this. Grandpa and his group could only leave angrily. Minnie also arrogantly made a white gesture to everyone. There's no doubt about skincare. After the grandpas are gone, Tsai Ming's father's demeanor suddenly became lonely. Actually, he came back this time. I want to persuade Tsai Ming to give up this exam. Although he has been encouraging Tsai Ming, but in his heart, he actually felt it too. Tsai Ming has no talent for this. He never wanted to see it again. The disappointed look of his loved ones. And there's one more thing to come back this time. He intends to make peace with the boy who does not support him. Ming's mother's married family severed the relationship. Then I went abroad to find Tsai Ming's mother to get back together. I also hope that Tsai Ming can go abroad, live happily ever after with them. After saying that, Tsai Ming's father turned around and left. He doesn't force it. Tell Tsai Ming to see you at the airport in a week. Before leaving, I thank Missy. You're a friend of the mind. Thank you for the head of the Stick River. I saw you lingering outside the door just now. After Tsai Ming's father leaves, Min Shi looked at Tsai Ming with a concerned face. Dixie, you're okay. Night. Lying on the bed, Tsai Ming remembered what had just happened. Min Shi explained in a panic. He just got the news of the Green Horse Farm. Stop by and tell Tsai Ming. It was also deliberately emphasized. On the way to the cram school, he seemed to know. Teacher Han Jin's mobile phone. Why is it there? It turned out that the days when Min Shi stayed in Kingmachang, see one every day, a man with a particularly loud voice. The thug next to him told him, this guy is a mobile phone seller. This person each. I come with a lot of mobile phones every day. Play games with that money. But Min Shi couldn't see the person's appearance at all, because the package is too mysterious. Min Shi was a little scared. I heard that there will be an event at the Green Horse Farm in a week. VIPs will come to participate. But soon the style of painting in Western Fujian changed. He felt that Tsai Ming should not look for it. It can be seen that Min Shi really likes Tsai Ming, because for him, the Tsai Ming family was able to reunite after breaking the mirror. It's what he wants to see more. Remembered his father's words at that time, and he tossed and turned. To waive the exam. Give up teacher Han Jing. Give up the friends you have met with a long time. What should I do? What kind of person the hell? in order to make Lee Jun and Jean Shursien show this expression. That's right, it's the man, the son of the boss of the Yenbai gang. Once in Yusung High School, as long as it is mentioned, it's going to make people smell a man. Pai Han is back. Start here. The plot of the manga will enter the white heat. Following the Haecheong School, a new force, Tsingma School, has emerged, and they're going to be during this time. Hold a fight gamble. Each school will send 5 people to fight. Jean Rue came to participate because Mr. Han Jin's clue is here. So Journey School is no exception. And now the 3 of them have been decided because he was just provoked by the Tsingma School. Li Jiyu was the first to say that he wanted to participate. The second is a Tian Ing, Choi Mu-kyu, who actually has itchy hands and wants to fight. The third is the current first-grade boss Lee Jun. But there is still no news from the people over there. It seems that no one is qualified to fill the gap in carrying people. And just when everyone was worried, as soon as it arrived, a familiar voice sounded. I heard interesting news. Can you bring me one? As soon as the cold rain came. In an instant, everyone present was like a great enemy. How could they have thought about it? There is a day of cooperation with Pai Hanyu. Originally, following Pai Hanyu's expulsion from Journey School, his boss is going to arrange for him to go abroad. Although Pai Han was ordered to his father, not satisfied, but he made one last request. Let me go before that. 20 Pai Han slowly walked towards the crowd. Actually, I'm here today. It's to get back what I was stolen. Hear this. Lee Jun instantly understood that it was the letter. It seems that the letter was important to him. And Pai Hanyu was still walking towards them with a black face. I didn't even open it to see it, and it was stolen. Isn't it too much? Hearing this, Lee Jun could only pretend to be stupid. Because they've all been taken apart. How can the hell pay back this meow? And just when Pai Han was about to get angry, Kim Se-hyun appeared in the middle of the two. Kim Se-hyun admits that sex is in their hands. But he had one condition. That is to let Pai Hanyu replace us. Participate in this Tsingma School's fight gamble. If you win, return the letter to him. Yes. To say now the distance to the school who is eligible to be substituted. Carrying people within the location. It is none other than Pai Korean. This guy used to be a school teacher. Rather, it is a multitude of schools. I didn't expect that. Leather Korean after returning. It's a lot closer than before. I embraced it immediately. Meanwhile, the policeman who used to be next to Officer Rothewon, Pu Guanshin, set out to investigate Tsingma School. After investigation, he knew about the series of porcelain incidents. It's all the green in front of you. Horse school boss famous city command. But he had no evidence and could not be arrested directly. Thereupon, Pu Guanshin can only secretly investigate in the Tsingma School. Someone reported it. A game arcade is being illegally operated on the ground floor of Tsingma School. And, just as he was about to go down and take a look, was stopped by the principal of Tsingma School. Unexpectedly, this headmaster is also one of those gangsters. And what he didn't know was, the people behind the scenes at Tsingma School. It turned out to be Ma Minghwan, who was played by Yin by Bang Bao not long ago. And just like that, time flies. The big moment came suddenly. Yoon Chanming is still on the plane in an hour. At the same time, the decisive battle of Tsingma School also began. Interestingly, this decisive battle, except for Lee Jun, who asked for a battle at the beginning, Choi Woo-kue, so much so that Kim Se-hyun was also pulled to make up the numbers. And the crowd just walked in. I found the Pai Hainu who was stepping on the gangsters. They have already guessed. Today's limelight. I'm sure they'll all be snatched away by this guy. This silver-haired teenager. It is Pai Hanyu, the son of a gang boss. It was the existence that once covered the sky with the hands of the Yusung School. And now, he recently made a private appointment with Yoon Jae-myung at Yusung School, Vice-Chancellor and Dean of Students. Staring at the window, don't dare to act rashly at all. Although nowadays, Pai Hanyu was expelled from Luching School long ago. But here he still wants to come. A place where you can walk as soon as you want. The son of the boss of the White Gang. They can't afford to mess with them. Looking at the cold rain in front of him, Ziming has always been cold-eyed. Because Pai Hanyu used to be on this school. What he did with his buddies. Ziming had to guard against it. Sure enough, as soon as Pai Hanyu opened his mouth, it was a minefield. You can find Mr. Li Hanjin again, right? At this moment, Jae Ming's eyes instantly became terrifying. A clang came from the classroom. It's Pai Hanyu who has been captured by Jae Myung and Yiling. You'd better tell me everything you know. And Pai Han still kept smiling. How to meet every time. It's all holding on to someone's collar. I just listened to the principal. It was the woman who resigned on her own initiative. But in my opinion, he would never do that. I'm going to ask you about it. But look at your reaction. Should have something to do with the words. In fact, Pai Han doesn't know much about these things. Because he has been under house arrest by his father ever since. However, he can sort out his thoughts for Ziming. The next moment, Pai Han suddenly pointed to the name of Sai. You have a serious expression. It's just too rigid. A lot of things aren't as simple as they seem. Xiang didn't get it from hearsay Su. For example, the reason why Choi Moo-kyu and Hong Yashin were suspended. Rumor has it that it was because he hit a teacher at school. But that's not the case. The real reason is that teacher Lu Hengin plotted against Hong Yashin. Choi Wukue witnessed it with his own eyes, and then beat Lu Hengin half to death. And Hong Yaxing was suspended from school because of Choi Wukue. There was a big fuss at school. In your impression, that teacher is very kind. Another example is you. Maybe you come to Luching School to study. It's also trying to save something. And this sentence just hit Ziming's heart. Ziming was silent. Yes, Pai Han made an appointment with Ziming this time. I just wanted to give a few words of advice to Ziming. In a sense, Pai Han has failed, so he can only pin his hopes on this. Make him feel that there is something special hidden in you. And he came to play the role of a guide in Ming. I saw Pai Hanyu spread his hands out. There are a lot of things you don't have to blame yourself too much. It's possible that it's not because of you. It may not be as serious as you think. So, live freely. There is no need to live for others. Just do what you want. After saying that, he turned around and left. It's not too early for you to be a witness, gentlemen. Anyway, think about it. And at this time, the fight gambling has officially begun. It could be the underground game hall of Tsingma School. Earn a lot of money. The scene of this fighting competition was unusually grand. Not only was the scene crowded, the live barrage is also one after another. Jiang Minnie finally squeezed in from the crowd. He didn't expect there to be so many people here. Okay, he got the ticket from the boy. Today's task. He's going to find it. The mobile phone that held Mr. Han, Jin's mobile phone, did it. This is after Ming returned to China. You can see teacher Han Jin. At the same time, Hong Yaxing also came. He came to see Chui Wu. Back to the game very quickly. The host is in the octopus. Loudly announced the start of the game. With the draw of the hosts. The door on one side slowly opened. The first team to participate. It turned out to be a study group led by Li Jun. Pian and Squint looked around. It's pretty good. The person who spoke, white, was actually in the bottle. The guy probably can't do it. Could it be that someone is helping? Soon, the moderator then announced the opponents of the study group. It turned out to be a group of Japanese. The Welfare Society of the Daimoto Violent Group. As soon as I saw these people, for the first time, Pai Hanyu showed a serious expression. He knew about it. It's an organization that had something to do with Rock Cypress before. I heard that the incident of the bloody war in Big Ben was also in the news. As the two teams confirmed, spectators picked up their mobile phones to place bets. And Big Ben's ticket is in the shape of a crush. Kind of oppressive distance school, and the players over there are all in. The study group is still there. Rock, paper, scissors decides who gets on first. At this time, Li Jun suddenly looked at the field in horror. It turned out that Li Jiyu didn't know when he went up, and just after the referee announced the start, Li Jiyu's opponent suddenly raised his hand. "I can't bear to hit a girl. Can you abstain?" This instantly caused laughter in the audience. The man was still taunting the man's teammates, but suddenly grabbed the barbed wire of the octastral dragon and fed it. "Didn't you hear the rules clearly? Except to take out others, anything can be done." The next moment, the thug suddenly showed an excited expression. "I see. I'm not welcome to say that. This little Day is a good player. How bold." He dared to plot against Li Jiyu in the octagonal dragon, and just when he felt like he was going to get his hands on it, was hugged by Li Jiyu on the thigh. A leg hug kills and knocks it down. Then an uppercut ended the field instantly. Hankyeong showed an expected expression. "Treat Li Jiyu as a girl. It's normal to lose." After Li Jiyu gets off the field, the opponent's boss had a gloomy face. If they lose again, they will become a laughing stock. Soon the second game began. This time it was Lee Jun against Go-To of the Cory team. As soon as the holy fire Lee Jun made a move, I was powerless to fight back against the little Days. Under Lee Jun's serial kicks, small Days can only be passively defensive. And Hong Yashin in the audience is watching the progress. But suddenly there was a burst of giants in the stomach. Hurriedly covered his stomach and rushed to the toilet. On the spot, Lee Jun has already kicked Xiaori away. And just when Lee Junja's victory was decided, small Day, but suddenly a perverted smile appeared. Then he ran madly towards Lee Jun. At the next moment of catching Lee Jun, Xiaori opened his mouth and bit Lee Jun's ear. Yes, that's how this guy fights. Nicknamed the Body Destroyer. Deliberately beaten at first. It's for the sake of destroying it. Alleviate your guilt. Exonerate yourself. Lee Jun took a lot of effort, only to break free from the man's attack, in the eyes of everyone on the field. At this time, Lee Jun was completely dominated by fear. In the despicable attack of the little Day, Lee Jun was so frightened that he didn't dare to fight back. So much so that he shouted at Lee Jun on the field, "Are you going to be slaughtered like this? You're foul too." But Lee Jun opened his mouth and said two words, "Don't." Facing the attack of Little Day again, Lee Jun resisted Xiaori's responsibility with one hand. Ding Shixian has been born in Beijing. That's not Wan Jaming's. Yes, this trick before the official start of the war. A trick that Lee Jun and Tsai Ming learned. It's called 1-inch boxing inch. Under Lee Jun's punch, the little Day was beaten and took off on the spot. His father was upright all his life. Even if you eat it yourself, losses will not be opportunistic. So, nor can he use despicable and shameless means, even in this dirty fighting arena. Even if the ear is bitten off. With Lee Jun's last punch, the battle is over. You ask me if I'm afraid. Are you kidding? I wasn't even afraid of bullets flying in my ears. Are you still afraid of teeth? After Lee Jun's victory, the third round also began. This time it was Chui Wu who came on the field. Because if this one loses again, small Days will lose the right to compete. So, this time, Xiaori directly sent one of the main forces. At the same time, Jiang Minhe, who was watching the game off the field. Suddenly I saw a familiar figure. The man in black who sold mobile phones. And at the same time, there was also something going on the field. A moment ago, I was preparing for a big flying dance party. The next moment, there was a sudden pain in my stomach. On the other side, Hong Yaxing had just walked out of the toilet. I knew that I wouldn't eat spicy fried rice cakes yesterday. It's made me sick to my stomach. At this time, Chui Wukue on the field was already stupid. Why does the stomach come to signal at this time? No, you have to hold back. But who would have thought? Xiaori actually took advantage of the official run to sneak attack. Fortunately, Chui Wukue exercises regularly. Forcibly used the bracket machine to hold back. See, Xiaori didn't know that he had been looking for himself to fight. Chui Wukue is already confused. If he can't control it this time, he's going to hit the big ball in the ring. That would be a black spot that he would never be able to recover for the rest of his life. Those guys off the field by then will definitely laugh at himself like crazy. Finally, when Xiao re-attacked again, Chui Wukue used his Japanese islands, a handful of small days to the ground, and said the word abstention. And the little days after the end of the game have been black-faced. It was the first time he felt such intense fear. The guy wasn't scared away at all. Rather, I thought I was too bored, because he's not looking at me at all. It is said that blackening is 10 times stronger. 7 points for play. But Pian doesn't seem to be within this rule. The fourth game of this gambling game. Paihan will represent Chongqing School, and his opponent is the strongest player of Xiaori. Even soon, Xiaori and Paihan both stood on the field. The small day is expressed proudly in Japanese. Can compete with Yin Bai's young master. What an honor. I didn't expect Pai Korean to answer in Japanese, right? Can I ask you something? Why are you here? Kopi Korean is clearly underestimated. Xiaori not only arrogantly refused to answer, he also put on a fighting stance. Yes, in the cognition of the little days, it is impossible to lose. He's not only the best player on a small day, and still, a person who has been recognized by the big gangster brother of the Sun Country. The little day is full of confidence written on his face. I'm still pretending to be forced to hear that you've been training with the general agent. But the general agent was beaten very badly by my master. We have a lot of monsters there. Open your eyes today. Let's talk about it. The little day rushed towards the cold rain of Pai with great momentum. And Pai Hanyu just responded with one kick. A kick was pinned to the barbed wire. The head sank deep. And then it's not enough. Pai Hanyu punched him to the ground again. Just beat it like holding down a little mouse. The little ones are going to be scared silly. Captain, they are proud of. It's cold when you hit it. And Pai Hanyu hasn't stopped yet. Little Day's head was lifted high. Pai Hanyu had a dangerous smile on his face. Doesn't it mean that you can do whatever you want by killing your opponent? Let me see how strict the gang's mouth really is. Yes, Pai Hanyu actually had a question in his heart. How the hell did his dad become that kind of big guy? Ultimately, his dad was just a bastard who could fight. How did you have so much power? Yes, there must be another reason. It should be the kind as soon as it is discovered. It is highly toxic and poses a threat to dermatitis white. It doesn't matter who it is. Just touch that being. He will never let it go. Even if the other party is a weak female teacher. And Pai Han's intuition told him, this poison has something to do with these little days. You have to pry his mouth open and ask for clarification. That's it. Pai Hanyu on the field asked with a grim face. As long as the other party does not answer, it is a severe beating. The study group was stunned. It's like they're playing tricks on each other. And at this time, the little days of being beaten on the field suddenly showed a scarred expression. At the same time, this also made Pai Hanyu on the field discover. No surprises. Skin. Hanyu pressed Xiao Dian to the ground with an unhappy face. The next moment, a crisp voice came from the field. A piece of the little day. The arm has been removed by Pai Hanyu. Wow, yelling in pain. Saw this happening. The teammates off the field have already picked up the knife. He really can't do it. He can only do this. And at this time, the little day on the field actually stood up brightly again. Looking at the grinding on the field, Li Jiu couldn't stand it anymore. Grabbed the barbed wire outside the octopus. Let Pai Hanyu hurry up and solve it quickly. But Li Jiu's words. But it caused dissatisfaction among the audience. The little days on the funeral ground continue to fight. They're losing their money, knowing that the study group is in a hurry. Pai Han also knew that he couldn't ask anything. So Pai Han didn't stay this time. One issue ended the game. Then he walked towards the field lightly. With Pai Hanyu finished the last game. Everyone went back to the break room to rest. In the skin cold rain, I saw a familiar figure. So I followed to the bathroom. I thought I was wrong. Pai Hanyu is like this in Ma Minghuan. Wash your hands calmly beside you. Minghuan, don't you think you need to explain? These two people together have 800 hearts and eyes. Pai Hanyu knows about Ma Minghuan to his father. Definitely knows something. So he glared at Ma Minghuan and my father with dangerous eyes. What the hell is he doing? Ma Minghuan still had the harmless smile on his face. It seems that this matter is very important to you. But if I refuse to answer, will you hit me? Pai Hanyu said. How could I do it to a friend? The fingers creaked. And Ma Minghuan also made a small move in his pocket. The next moment, Pai Hanyu was held by several knives around his neck. Yes, of course, friends should get along with each other. Of course, the man in black is also a member of the Yin Bai gang. They just want to stop. Pai Hanyu made a move on Ma Minghuan. Ma Minghuan used to see. Wearing everything, he looked at Pai Hanyu. I don't know what filial piety you're trying to do, but don't ask too much about the net. With that, Ma Minghuan turned around and left. Turn around again, and I'll keep it a secret for you. And after Ma Minghuan and the man in black left, Pai Hanyu smiled excitedly. Ma Ming's change of this guy is really unpredictable. Why tell me everything? And in the middle of the conversation between the two, I don't know how many games have been played. In the end, Sing Ma School won the competition with a score of 3 o'clock. At the same time, on the other side, our male protagonist is in the shadows. I also met my father at the airport. Tsai Ming's father happily hugged Tsai Ming and left. Let's go see my mother. But in Ming, he couldn't be happier. Jamin's father comforted him and went abroad. We'll be reunited as a family. Fatherland. In fact, it is not as glamorous as it seems. But Jamin's father didn't know. Jamin didn't come to the airport this time to ask his guys. Farewell to the companions. It's about saying goodbye to your family. He was going to give up his family. And this time, it's just a matter of effort. Pai Han is playing a second game. This time the opponent is particularly strange. It turned out to be the Shishin Leather-Faced Youth League. This is equivalent to Luching School beating Luching School. Li Jiyu off the field. I'm going to be mad at this rebellious old brother. It turned out that these three people, everyone is more or less peaceful. Korean is a bit grudgeful. They're here to challenge Pai Han by name. Such a good opportunity to be able to resist beating the skin in Korean. How could they let me go? Pai Hanyu also walked to the field calmly. Since I'm here to challenge him, then he's fine with 1v3. But such a battle, but it caused dissatisfaction among the audience. They have been nurtured with unfairness. Choi Wukue looked at the audience a little speechlessly. What are you arguing about? If people think it's unfavorable, will it be that kind of expression? As the game starts, Li Xuanyu was the first to rush forward. He became a gangster in the first place. The one who made him almost have no turning back. It is this Pai Hanyu. And Pai Hanyu still had that relaxed smile. With one kick all over his body, Li Hyun-woo and the son stood shoulder to shoulder. The second shot. It was Kim Soon-cheol, who used the tiger fist and the tiger out of the mountain. Originally, the people who took those thugs to trouble the martial arts gym. It is the Pai Korean language. Instigated, Kim Soon-cheol almost ruined his life because of the Yin Bai gang. Under Kim Soon-cheol's full seal with anger, Pai Han is finally not as easy as it started. But at the same time, Kim Soon-cheol found out. The field of vision of Pai Han is so large. No matter which corner he throws his punch from, can be accurately defended by the skin Korean. Under the continuous offensive of the two people, Pai Hanyu can easily fight back. One move to bring two people down, and at the same time, a gloomy aura came. Then a powerful attack rained down like a storm. This trick is merit. The husband-boy Amikamaru kills the wolf. If you want to talk about the grievances between Amikamaru and Pai Hanyu, actually it's the deepest. Though, the person who played tricks on him and his master was Ma Minghuan. But there are still some things that Ma Minghuan did to burn the martial arts hall, are all fueled by the cold rain. Pai Hanyu withstood the stinging pain in his arm. Doesn't. Play Tianchi out of Tianchi and kiss it steadily. Then stabilized his body and rushed towards Pai Hanyu again. Tianchi plays an appearance. The shouts off the field are the highest. Every movement is elegant and handsome. It's like watching a martial arts movie. And just fight swords on the field. Jiang Min, he encountered a crisis. The mysterious man who sells mobile phones is pressing Jiang Min he against the wall. Ask me why you're following me. You can believe it. The strength of Pai Han is so outrageously strong. In the joy of the new leather-faced teenagers each. After a pair with Pai Korean, the three finally decided to shoot at the same time. But the scary thing is, despite the numerical advantage, Pai Han hit them, but it's still as easy as hitting someone. Pai Han is really like his title, like an invincible overlord. Whether it's Tenchimaru, who has been practicing martial arts since childhood, it's still a one-handed tiger fist. It used to be called the fine shun of the mainland. None of them are the power of Pai Han Yu. On the battlefield, Han Yu flashed and turned. Whether it's a blind spot attack or a deep sneak attack, I can handle them all in Korean. Seemingly thin body. The talent for fighting is ridiculously high. But fighting and fighting. The crowd also discovered the weakness of the Pai Korean language. He didn't have eyes on his head. It's about predicting before attacking. So they have to break the rhythm of the Pai Korean, create an unexpected variable. Kim Soon-chul took the lead. Attack directly from the front with equity. Knock the Korean language away. Then, a line of fire appeared in front of Pai Han Yu. This is Tenakamaru's move. Fuse. But fighting and fighting. Kim Soon-chul said something inexplicable. I know that doesn't make you feel less confident, but it at least reminds you of what to do. In washing, under the continuous attack of the young man with a heart change, everyone on the field felt that poverty and defeat were certain. And in the next moment, tired and fighting back, first he hit Tenakamaru in the abdomen with a blow. Then he swung his head to dodge Kim Soon-chul's tiger punch. There was silence at this moment. In silence, you can hear the sound of people swallowing. Even the host forgot to explain. Then the cheers broke out instantly. Yes, Pai Korean won, and the Pai Han language, who obviously won the victory. But he was silent. He finally knew. These people, why don't you want to fight with yourself? Actually, it's not the so-called revenge. Pai Han Yu smiled. You want me to help you find Mr. Hanjin? These people thought of asking him for help. It seems that there is really no way out. So much so that he wanted to provoke his guilt. However, Pai Han Yu has long been numb to this emotion. But if you find that woman, words that can make my father unlucky, I promise you. Looked at the miserable appearance of the festive leather-faced boy falling to the ground. Poor and cold-hung all his life. Not so long ago. These guys. It's all a little mix that doesn't dare to look at him. Lee Hanjin, you're right. It seems that someone is really going to change. And at the same time, Jiang Min, he was found stalking the man in black. Encounter a crisis. Fortunately, Hong Yaxing appeared in time to knock him down. And this also makes Hong Yaxing saw the true face of this man in black clearly. Unexpectedly, this man in black, who is holding Mr. Lee Hanjin's mobile phone. It was once to Hong Yaxing, the teacher Liu Hungin, who plotted against him. Hong Yaxing trembled with anger. How could this pervert end up here? Hong Yaxing looked at it with disgust. This scumbag in front of you. As a former teacher, now even the student party bureau is running to join in the fun. Don't you feel ashamed? But Liu Hungin looked like a victim. Because of you dogs and men. Not only was I expelled from school, the news also reached my home. My wife also divorced me. It was just a small mistake. Hong Yaxing was speechless. Raise your fist to teach this scumbag a lesson. In Hong Yaxing's hand was caught by Zhang Minxi on the side. Now is not the time to do such a thing. Don't forget what we're here for. Let's talk about it. Zhang Minxi immediately began to question Liu Hungin. And before Liu Hungin could say anything, a voice of displeasure rang out from behind. What's going on? The source turned out to be the boy deceived by Jiang Minhe. He is now a staff member at Sing Horse Farm. What are you doing to our VIPs? Then came another jumble of footsteps. A group of thugs had appeared behind him. Meantime, Pu Guangxian still took advantage of the night to come to the Green Horse Farm, where even the headmaster is blocked. He felt even more hateful. Then Pu Guangxian opened the door with a bang, showed the police officer's ID and assistant. "I'm a police officer." And what surprised him was, it was empty, but anyone with a discerning eye can see it. This is a gambling hall, actually playing gambling games at school. It's crazy, isn't it? But another letter was investigated. Pu Guangxian is ready to leave. Got a clue anyway. Come back next time. And at this very moment, one of the consoles rang out. The sound of a jingle bell. Pu Guangxian glanced back. I happened to see a small door closing on the side. Pu Guangxian directly slammed the door open with his body. I didn't expect there to be a management room hidden inside. A table on the table attracted the protagonist of Pu Guangxian, Taolan. Pu Guangxian was dumbfounded. Look at these crazy guys. And at this very moment, there seemed to be footsteps. Gu Guangxian hurriedly leaned to the door and watched the starting point. And what he didn't know was, there was already a state behind him that raised his fist at him. At the same time, towering on the other side, the game came to an end. The final was Luqing School against Qingma School. The audience was enthusiastic. I'm looking forward to this competition. Ma Minghuan on the roof of the building. I also looked down with interest. Then, a man in black came over and reminded young Master Minghuan. You can't be here now. Didn't you just see that? Of course, Ma Minghuan knew that he was talking about Tenchimaru. But Ma Minghuan did not panic at all. He also asked the man in black if he were afraid of that little guy. And at this very moment, the man in black suddenly called. After a while, the man in black's eyes widened instantly. On the other side, festive revolutionary teenagers on their way back. Small talking. Li Xuanyu accosted Tian Kamaru next to him. Thank you for your help today. Do you want to join us in the Xixing Revolutionary Youth? And when everyone looked at Tenekamaru, only to find out, the Tianqi pill in the middle has disappeared for some time. At the same time, the man in black on the other side shouted a whistle, while struggling to protect Ma Minghuan. This was the last time he visited the prison. Ma Minghuan's father specially instructed him. It's Minghuan, this kid is very smart. I will watch my own things and do them. But there is one thing that must be noted. He must not be allowed to meet Tenekamaru. Do you know how much Tianqi Maru hates Ma Minghuan? Since Master Inchuan was shot and killed by Ma Minghuan, Tenchimaru has been living in the shadow of this matter. There was a time when the Interstellar Corporation, in order to cultivate the Tenchi pill, especially bring the Tianqi pill, went to see a top martial arts actor filming. And just as the top actor raised the prop gun, Tianqi Maru was suddenly stunned, as if he was stunned. The plane disappeared from the chair, and when I look at the screen again, Amikimaru has already lifted the actor, the hand that got the giant gun, repeating like crazy not to shoot. After going back, Akimaru saw the agent from the car. People keep apologizing to others. Akimaru is like a child who has made a mistake. Sit there, wait for the agent to get back into the car. The blame that Amikamaru imagined did not happen. Instead, the agent also touched Tenekamaru's head. He knew everything about Tenekamaru. He could quite understand Tenekamaru's reaction at the time. At this moment, Tenekamaru's eyes were full of tears. I'm sorry. It's me who was too cowardly. The agent comforted that it was not cowardice. It's a catastrophe that you can't unravel in your heart. Akamaru clenched his fists, trembling. I heard that the guy who killed my master was discharged from the hospital. I don't know what I'm going to do. And the agent chuckled, interrupted Amikimaru's words. Akamaru, you are a valuable talent. I won't give up on you. If you have the chance, I hope you understand thoroughly. Don't worry about the consequences. So since there is revenge, don't take the touching route of forgiving the enemy. I'll bet on everything RSY will protect you. Show off your heroic nature. Meanwhile, Tenchi Maru jumped high in the audience. The road that Tenchi Maru has traveled and the gangsters all take off. That's how a path was made. As long as it is someone who dares to stop him. It will be like clearing an obstacle by Tianchi Pill. Clear the horse farm in an instant. It was a mess by Tianchi Maru. Surprisingly, Kim Se-hyun also helped Tianchi Maru defeat a gangster. Tenchimaru, go do what you have to do. Probably to make up for the fault. Jin sure. Hyun also wants to do something that he didn't dare to do before. Choosing Tianchi Maru's eyes gestured. Then Ascension jumped directly onto the 8-horned dragon's railing. Just like that, I stepped on this narrow railing. Jumped onto the high platform. The thugs were surprised at the same time. I also hurried to the second floor to hunt down Tenchi Maru. Such a big change has happened. The boss of Chima School hurriedly looked at Pai Hanyu. If it is spoken in Pai Korean. But Pai Hanyu just put on an indifferent expression. I don't want to be out of the question. He had no choice but to order the game to continue. Let both sides play at the same time. This will also maximize the popularity of the online network. At this time, Hwang Mao stood up with his chin covered, ready to seek revenge on Kim Se-hyun. And Lee Jun was protected in front of Kim Se-hyun. But I don't know where another thug came from. Press Lee Jun's head. Look at the chaos. Kim Se-hyun was stupid. But what Pai-han only cares about is the game on the field. How this matchup is done. He actually gave me the most dish-looking arrangement. Are you a discarded card? And the gangster pointed behind Pai Hanyu. With the appearance of that person, Pai Hanyu's eyes instantly glared at the boss. How could Gu Jinya be here?